For those of you out there that watch my content on the regular, my answer to this should be expected. And that is that it's not digital. I have been in the hobby for 12 years, and my appreciation for it grows more and more every year. Mainly because our lives are dominated by digital entertainment. Social media, video games, streaming services. And as the years have passed, these services have become so ingrained and we depend on them so heavily just to keep us from being bored. And what's even more sad is the content that we're spending so much time to seek out has become so disposable. I mean, how often have you been scrolling through one of your streaming services and you literally have like hundreds of things that you could potentially watch? And as you're probably on the 5 or 10 minute mark of scrolling through, you basically say to yourself, there's nothing to watch. And this reminds me of being a kid, going into the refrigerator and the pantry and seeing all kinds of food, but it required like effort on my end to make it like edible, you know, mix ingredients and cook and stuff. But yet I would still tell my mom, there's nothing to eat. I go to restaurants with my family, I take a look around the place, and I see so many people looking down at their phones or their tablets instead of having a conversation with the people that are around them. And they even have like these display games at certain establishments to give to your children or to yourself to keep you entertained. Otherwise, the chances are you're going to be hearing there's nothing to do. Every day, multiple notifications go off on my phone. And I hear them, and I'm expecting / hoping that maybe it's an individual trying to reach out to me. But instead, it's merely an application on my phone that's just wanting me to look at something. Whether it be Instagram, Facebook, whatever, it's like my phone might as well just be screaming, look at me, look at me. Our phones are essential, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with the way entertainment is these days. It's oversaturated, mostly garbage, and it has caused our attention spans to become so short that it's like nothing's ever enough. Do you think I started this 2-camera setup because the left side of my face is my best feature? No. It's to help with retention. And that's also why I've got B-roll footage rolling through this entire video, because I know that if it's just me on the screen through the entire thing, a majority of the audience will not like the fact that there's just an image or a static image of me for too long. They'll get bored, and they'll find some other content that's a little more stimulating. Technology has become a blessing, but also a curse. And this is one of the reasons why I choose pinball. It's mechanical. I can touch it. I can own it. You cannot beat that feeling of accomplishing a goal within a game that you just performed using skill. Hearing the ball roll up a ramp, down a wire form, or that precious sound of nailing a scoop. Every time I push that start button on one of my games, I know that I am guaranteed to have a different experience every time. Now, sure, not every game out there is good to me, but that doesn't mean that others out there won't appreciate or even love that particular game. I'm very thankful for having the luxury of having all these games within my house. And granted, not all the games I have are winners to some people. And that's okay. Thankfully, there are so many options out there at arcades. But pinball is also an escape. Not just from the screen that we constantly hold in our hands on a daily basis, but I think through life as well. You have a bad day. You're going through a breakup. God forbid you lose a loved one. Whether it be you tinkering on a machine, cleaning it, restoring it, or just batting the ball around, pinball cannot fix your problems. But it can take your mind off of it, just for a moment. One could even say that it's therapeutic. So we may live in a digital world where people say there's nothing to watch or there's nothing to eat. But I have never heard my kids or anyone else walk into an arcade and say, there's nothing to do.